Bushra Khalidi is the policy lead for Oxfam in the occupied Palestinian territory. She joins us now from Ramallah. Good to have you with us. So Oxfam was one of the more than 100 organizations which issued this warning that Israel is threatening to ban major aid organizations in Gaza. I want to make sure we understand this fully. The situation as it stands now, is it the following? The Israelis have brought in new registration procedures for NGOs, I think in March, and you're being told, unless you comply with that, you may be officially banned. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Essentially Israel is using bureaucratic measures to blockade. And the impact of that means that it will only deepen starvation in Gaza. Most major international NGOs since the 2nd of March have basically been virtually unable to deliver a single truck of life-saving supplies. And we have millions of dollars of food, medicine and essential goods from multiple NGOs that are just standing there in the regional borders, just waiting to get in.
Explain to us then, Bushra, because I imagine the Israelis will probably say, hey, why don't you just comply with the registration procedure, the new process they brought out in March? What in this process do you feel is simply a bureaucratic hurdle to impede aid? What is it that you can't work with?
Israeli authorities are rejecting aid requests from these long-established NGOs. I think it's important to say that we've been here for decades. We've been here since the 50s. And they've cited that they're not authorized to deliver aid. And there's been 60-plus such denials issued since in July alone on behalf of all of the NGOs. So these registration rules are demanding extremely intrusive and unsafe disclosure of Palestinian staff lists, donor information, and other sensitive data. And our view is that this violates international law. It violates data protection laws. But ultimately, it puts staff at risk. Gaza has become the most dangerous place for humanitarian workers to be in. We have seen the record number of humanitarian workers killed. We have seen systematic attacks on aid convoys, humanitarian trucks, warehouses, premises, throughout the war. For us, refusing to comply with providing private information about our staff, it's natural. We have our own systems where we do our own background checks on staff, and we don't need a party to the conflict to be doing the same on behalf of our own staff. I think our donors trust us enough to be doing that. We work with the biggest donors of the world, including the USAID. Not for Oxfam, but other organizations. We operate under robust, strict procedures and protocols where we have to provide everything to the donors when it comes to that kind of information, including how we operate, where our goods have reached to, how many people we've reached, So it's not for a party to the conflict to request that, especially when that party to the conflict has systematically obstructed and targeted humanitarian operations in Gaza.
And Bush, I understand, okay, so part of it is you're being asked to provide things that you feel is against international law. And I understand some of the other, from the statement that's put out, some of the other criteria or requests are virtually impossible, or very hard to fulfill, such as the vague criteria of proving that you haven't engaged in the delegitimization of the state of Israel. Talk to us a little bit about some of these requirements that...
I don't know. You should ask the Israelis about it. It's completely vague, it's politicized, it's opaque. And, what does this mean? So does it mean that when, if we are to be registered under this new system, does it mean that if we were to say out loud that Israel is not letting us aid in, that we're delegitimizing Israel? It's unclear. So that, again, that's also one of the criteria that, for us is, we know it's effectively telling us, stay silent or leave. And that's not part of our mandates. We're mandated by international law. We have to explain, we have to tell donors what happens with our goods. We have to tell the truth of what's happening. And so if Israel is denying our goods, we have to be able to say that.
Well, and in the meantime,
delegitimizing the state of Israel.
Right. And in the meantime, am I right in understanding, in the meantime, for virtually, or for most of these organizations, since March, while they're trying to navigate this new registration system, When they come to the Israeli authorities and say, we've got these trucks, we want to bring them in, they are refused permission. They're told that you are not authorized to deliver aid. Is that right? So effectively, since March, they're being blocked.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not, I mean, the trucks haven't even arrived. We have to submit every item that we purchase, we have to submit for pre-approval. So it's already at the pre-approval kind of stage that we're being denied. So it's not even that the trucks have gotten there. Now we already have goods from before March 2nd pending to enter Gaza. So it's an accumulation. What we've tried to do since March is that we've just not been able to purchase any new goods based on the response from the Israelis.
All right, Bushra, and finally and briefly, do you know how long you've got before this threat turns into reality? In other words, until you might, or some of these organizations might be told you are officially banned, you're out.
Well, I mean, we're not yet there. We're not there yet. We hope that there will be some opening for discussion on especially the staff list, which remains kind of our line that we can't cross. It's just impossible. Our donors have said it, our member states have said it, and so even the Dutch authority has said it. So it's just we cannot do it. We'll see what happens between now. The deadline is the 6th of March. We'll see between now and then. But there's also a right to appeal under the new registration criteria. So ultimately we'll probably be appealing those decisions and seeing where that procedure takes us from, and maybe there will be an opening for negotiating on the criteria with the Israelis, particularly on the staff list.
All right, thank you so much for clarifying this picture, Bushra Khalidi from Oxfam.
Thank you.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news, expert insight. Like, share, stay ahead.